Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Amazing, amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, when I say everybody, I'm talking about Aaron, Carlos, Celeste. You're the only people I know for sure that are listening right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Man,
good.
I'm
I got my
blessed. I'm
bright
doing
pink
well.
shirt on today. It makes me happy, this bright pink shirt.
So you're ready to rock and roll? Is that what that means?
Yeah, I'm ready to go this early in the morning. Let's do it.
Yeah. What time is it in New York, Carlos?
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh,
10
man.
a.m.
You're having lunch and we're having breakfast.
Listen, I've been up since 4:30.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think that's when I went to bed your time.
Really? Oh, I've already started doing laundry. I mean, I'm like already on a roll
You're on
this morning.
fire, huh?
Huh?
I said, you're on fire already.
Absolutely.
There you go. Okay, we are live, guys, so let's get started. Let's just wait a few minutes, let some people join us. But for now, how's everybody holding up on this end? Everybody on the call?
No.
No, I'll tell you, I was thinking about that this morning, trying to understand what have I done over the last 6 months that's helped me like this. No, I'm telling you, I've never been I've never seen more challenge in my life in terms of potential challenge. That's another thing. I'm not feeling the challenge right now because nothing's really changed for me drastically. There's a lot of fear and a lot of talk about things that are changing, but I don't have the virus and I don't even know anybody that does. And but really, my main thing, when you say, how am I doing? Normally, I would have some type of anxiety at this level about either my business or something. And I think it's due to, one of the things I think it's due to, and I'm going to share it on the post, on the group. This one meditation I've been telling you guys about, it's a little different than most meditations. It's not really just to relax you. In fact, it has a total different effect. It actually pushes your nervous system. It pushes you into overwhelm a little bit every day so that you can keep raising your threshold to overwhelm. And even after 1 or 2 weeks of using it, I noticed the promise that the guy had made. Like, when a staff member quits, it can be irritating, it can bother you, but just inside of 2 weeks, something like that would happen. Oh, that's strange. It's not bothering me. I knew I had to make decisions, had to do things, but that angst wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so I really believe, I'm assuming it has more to do with that than anything, because I've been doing it now for about 5 years. And it almost scares me because I'm thinking like, I should be a little more moved emotionally about this,
Yeah.
I think that's a valid point that you're bringing up because, I think wisdom comes with age and being in our industry for so long, and we've been through so many downturns, opposed to some of the younger hairdressers. So, obviously our goal today is to help everybody maximize the moment. We're not just putting those words out there to make it sound like it's this cool logo or slogan. We truly mean that we want to help you maximize the moment. And I think that does come from wisdom and being through situations, not like this, but similar to this, where you think it's, what am I going to do? The desperation's there, the doubt's there, the fear, like that whole psychological part of it is very hard to wrap your head around when you haven't been practicing the things that we've been practicing. And what's really hitting people right now is that financial impact. I mean, we can talk about, oh yeah, go learn a great cut and color right now, go do this, go do that. But right now, people are freaking out about their finances. And I think that's why we all collectively felt like today was really what we needed to focus on. So yes, I love the meditation. I love the whole psychology behind it. And we're definitely going to speak about that more this week. So Jerry, thanks for sharing that, because
Yep.
It gives people hope to know that if you can wrap your mind around it, you can do anything. And it starts with that meditation.
I want to add to that, Tammy, really quickly. And, I think people watching, see us so hunky-dory and excited and and we're in a different mindset, and we're human, right? So everybody's going through processing this differently. And I almost looked at this, I do look at this as a death of something. It's like people are mourning right now, right? So they're mourning, they're losing their businesses, they're mourning losing their finances, they're mourning what's going on in this planet. And it's okay. We go through those stages, right? They talk about the denial, the anger, and the acceptance. And I see that a lot of people right now are angry. I see it, walking the streets. I see it in people's faces. I see it on social media. And, my hope is to get everybody to acceptance, because once we get to acceptance, then, you start to see all the possibilities. And, the sooner that we can help you get there, the better it's going to be for you, because you're going to be able to have the clarity to make the choices that are going to get you beyond this.
Yeah. That's so funny you said that, because I looked up today, I'm like, why is everyone freaking out? It's because they're in stages of grief right now, right? And these are the 7 stages, but I want people to take notes, because when you're ready to get to the acceptance stage, that's when you're going to start taking action. So right now, just be aware. Right now, you're probably in shock and denial. That's the first step of grieving. And then you have pain and guilt. That's the next one. You're feeling it right now. That's where all this emotion, it keeps getting, it's rising up inside of us. And then we've got the anger and the bargaining. And I think the bargaining right now is when people start getting desperate and they start taking action out of that desperation. Mm-hmm. And there's the depression, reflection, loneliness. A lot of people right now are crying, curled up in their bed, not knowing what to do. Then there's the upward turn. And that's truly where we want to get you to, because once you get through all of those stages, then you start doing a reconstruction of your life and you start working through things. And that's when acceptance and hope comes in. That's when you start, it's like the clouds disappear, the sun comes out, and you are living your life again. So we want to give you things right now that are going to give you that action plan with your finances. So start taking notes. We're going to give you what we have today. And when you're ready to take action, start checking off this list of things that we're going to give you. So I think it's, does that sound fair to everyone?
Yes.
I love it.
I'm excited.
So I really, really think we need to start with Erin, because she's going to speak to us from a soul perspective and an energy level of how money works. Because I truly think everything has to start inward before you can start acting outward, right? So let's start with you, Erin, and your take on this, and coach us to success, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. When thinking about this subject, it's one that actually in the past I have really liked to ignore. One of those subjects where it's like, ooh, I've had too much in the past that scares me about it. And I think just like we've been mentioning today, you have to get through those stages and then be able to go, okay, here's the acceptance. Where's the creativity going to come in? And I think something we mentioned before we got on the live is that all of us have kind of probably lived through some sort of drama or traumatic event around money. And I just want to share a little bit of my story. Back in 2008, when the market, the housing market took a dump, my then ex-husband, was a high-paid area construction manager for a home builder here in Phoenix. And the bubble burst, right? And I was a hairstylist one day a week because I had babies at home. I think my babies were about 3 and 1 or 2 and 4. So babies at home. And I was one day a week, and he got laid off. And he got laid off of work. And we went from making a pretty good, decent income back in 2008 to basically making nothing. And me being me, I immediately went into action mode. I'm like, all right, I had a network marketing business I was going to hustle. I started building a clientele in a recession, working more because he was home. And unfortunately, he kind of spiraled downward. And I don't like to go into that background, but it basically got worse before it got better. And it got worse emotionally, physically, mentally, and financially. It got worse. We ended up losing our home, which could have now, in the grand scheme of things, was the best thing that we could have done. There were demons and monsters inside him that were coming out. There was fear and anxiety that was coming out inside of me. And by the time 2011 hits, we're talking 3 years later, he and I separated for about 10 months at that point due to some circumstances. And I took a moment at that point to go, who am I? What am I doing? And why am I, always spiraling out of chaos? And along with a lot of self-development, spiritual help that I worked on my own self, really digging deep, going inward. It's at that time that I took up my meditation practice again, became a meditation instructor through the Chopra Center. I started saying, who am I and what am I doing? What am I doing with my world? And I figured out that I was living a lie to a lot of people. I was living a lie to myself. And that's a whole nother deep conversation. But when it comes to money, you guys, I can hustle. And I'm sure some of you guys can hustle too. I have the creativity to hustle not only, with people in any sort of sales or business at the salon, but I ended up doing it out of fear and desperation. So I hit my goals. I made the money. I saved kind of our family in the time when we needed it to. My ex wasn't working and had a very hard time even finding jobs on his own accord and otherwise. But I hustled and I made it work. And I remember my mom looking at me one day and she said, Erin, why are you doing this? Why is it always you? And I said, because I can. But what I want to reiterate is I later learned and discovered after digging deep that I did it out of fear and desperation, not out of passion and love, you guys. Now, obviously the love was there to be able to provide for my family, but it was fear and desperation. And I soon realized that, you guys, money, currency, right? Currency is actually a flow, right? Money is a flow. Money is a tool. And yet it defines so much of how we live and what we want and what we need. Okay, yes, money pays for shelter. It pays for food. And those are the basics that we need, right? Shelter, food, gas to get around. And those, of course, are very big concerns. But when you think about money, it's a flow. Definitely just a tool that we use. And it comes in abundantly sometimes and it goes out abundantly sometimes. And if you can separate your emotions and realize, hey, at this time with the financial crisis, am I trying to make money out of fear and desperation, or am I stepping back, taking a few deep breaths and saying, you know what, I'm going to choose to make money creatively from a place of love, a place of passion and true authenticity. So the questions I want you to ask yourself is, am I being authentic when it comes to money and my attitude? Where do my belief systems come around money? What were your parents like about money? Think about that for a minute. Now I want you to think about a dollar bill, okay? $1 bill. Let's say you have this dollar. How many times the dollar bill changes hands? So when we look at a $1 bill, we think it's worth $1, right? So let's say that $1 bought candy at a candy store, okay? And then it was passed on to maybe somebody who used that dollar to help pay for prescriptions at a pharmacy. And then it was passed on to a homeless person, where that homeless person bought a hamburger, okay? And then it keeps going. I mean, it's astounding if you look it up. I think it like a dollar bill will pass hands like 19,000 times or something crazy like that. Well, is that dollar actually worth the dollar at that point? Maybe, but let's think about what it did for the buying the candy. So that first dollar, like when it went into transition into the currency, it bought candy for a kid. Now, did it buy candy for a kid who was so happy with the energy around that dollar to get this piece of candy? I don't know about you guys, but when I got a piece of candy when I was a kid, I was like, hey, this is good. Like big hunks were my favorite, like you just bite on that piece of big hunk and the chunks. It was amazing. Or did it buy a candy for maybe somebody who is addicted to sugar, somebody who really needed that and was fulfilling a deep, deep loss in their soul? Two different energies around that dollar. Okay. The next one, the dollar went into the pharmacy to buy prescriptions. Maybe a father was buying a prescription for either their sick child, maybe a sick child. Okay. So either he took that money and he said, hey, you know what? I'm so grateful that I have this medicine to make my child feel better. Or maybe that dollar was spent for that child who may be, going to be losing their life. Two different energies, hope versus sadness. And then the homeless guy. This one hit home. I read this all in that book that I posted in our group. It's called Money, Spirituality, and Consciousness. And this whole example is in there, and I think in chapter 2 or 3. Let's think about the homeless person. this is something that I also discovered when going through the bankruptcy, and my financial awareness was, I need to give back. It's a spiritual law, giving and receiving, right? So even if I have $1 to give, are you giving that dollar to the homeless person out of pity? Or are you giving that dollar to the homeless person out of compassion and love? Two different energies. Okay. And so for me, actually, I end up thinking, you know what, I'm going to carry a bunch of granola bars in my car for homeless people, or bottles of water here in Phoenix. And that made me feel better, right? To be able to give them. But I need you to be self-aware of when you're spending your dollar, or you're paying for your electricity, or your, even at this point, some people are still paying for their vanity products. Fine, no judgment. Are you paying for it in gratitude and in love and acceptance, or are you paying for it out of fear, out of resentment? Here's another thing about just being self-aware of your energy around money. You guys really take note for me. Take notes and journal it, because you're going to be fascinated at what comes up and the belief systems that come up. I'm going to just leave you with this one thing. Right now, in times of financial uncertainty, if you're paying your electricity bill and you're saying, I have to freaking pay this bill and it's so expensive here in Phoenix, it's going to get expensive pretty soon. And you're saying, you're saying it with resentment. I want you to stop yourself, stop, drop, and breathe, and say, you know what? I get to pay this electricity bill. I get to have air conditioning when it's 110 and hot as hell outside. I get to pay my water bill and have fresh water to take a shower in when I don't have any toilet paper. See the perspective shift? That is the energy around money. That is the energy that you're giving it. So we're going to talk a lot today about different ideas of budgeting and ways to make money. And I really want you to be aware of your energy around it, your attitude around it. And is it coming from a place of love? And that means a love of yourself too, you guys. I'm huge about self-love. What's the energy around it? And I really hope that you guys can take note, reach out to me, message me, let me know what you guys are thinking, put it on the comments. And I'd love to respond and have a dialogue about it, because I'm still learning myself.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can put them into the comment box and we'll definitely get to them. If not now, we'll get to them and we'll just reply back after this. But what I think is important also about your conversation, Erin, is that we are going to go through an ebb and flow of emotions right now. There are going to be times when your energy level is really high, and there's going to be times when your energy level is really low. I just encourage you is to not take action in those moments of fear and doubt, and just take a step back and breathe. And then when you get a clear mind, reassess what you were going to do. Write it down. What are the pros and what are the cons? If I take action with my money, what's that going to do in the long run? And then just step back from it and wait till that emotion passes and come back and revisit it, so that you can look at that note, or that what you wrote down, the pros and cons, from a good place, not from an emotional place. Okay? I think that's super important to step back and analyze it.
I think one more thing I'd like to add to your point, amen. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make financial mistakes. You're going to invest in things that probably aren't going to work at this point, especially when we're trying to be creative. It's okay, right? It's all learning. What did you learn from that investment? What did you learn from that decision? And then move on and do better the next time. But absolutely never do it out of a place of fear and anxiety. Step back, take a deep breath, cry it out. I actually was on my Peloton yesterday morning crying some shit out, because you have to, right? Like I'm pedaling and I'm sweating and I'm crying. I'm like, all right, I got this out.
Yeah.
Especially because my girls were asleep and I didn't want them to see too much of that. But amen to what you said.
Yeah, again, it's energy and it's going to flow through us, but we do not want to take that negative energy and start doing stuff with our money from that place of fear and not knowing what to do. So, just breathe through it. I love what you shared, Erin. Thank you for that perspective. So I want to go to Teresa, because I think Teresa really has some great ideas on how you guys can start budgeting money and looking at it differently. And she has been through this, you guys. She has had to learn how to budget her money in such a hard time in her life. So this comes from experience and she knows it works. So please, Teresa, just coach us through some budgeting tips and some resources that we can go to start supplementing our income.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tammy, so much. And oh my gosh, good morning, everybody here in Phoenix. It's 7:00. And I don't know, with all the stress, I kind of slept in a little bit this morning. So I'm trying to wake up my brain and jump on the fact that we're talking about money, which is, oh my goodness, so important. And we can't live without it, right? And I know during this time for everybody, we all feel, luckily together, we all feel the fear of money right now. Nobody's alone in this, which is awesome, because for me, like the times in my life where I felt I didn't have money, or I was grasping for straws, or I was hustling out of fear, like Erin said, I felt alone. So luckily we all feel in this together. And I think being a part of something and trying to come out of it together is really important. And when you feel alone, that's when you kind of go inside and don't really know what to do. So I have a 17-year-old son, and when he was 2 years old, he's went through, I don't want to cry about this, but he went through 2 brain surgeries, right? And totally unexpected. It was a genetic thing. It went on for about 1.5 years, and I was 26 years old, and it ruined my marriage. I had to file bankruptcy, and I lost everything, and I felt out of control. And so for me, trying to figure out how to find control in my life was difficult, and I felt extremely alone. I had highs and lows, and grasped for money out of fear, like Erin did. And I luckily at the time of my life, I was going to church. I still go to church, and I found Dave Ramsey, and I went to Financial Peace University. And I went with my daughter, who's now 24 years old, but she came with me. And so I started budgeting like my kids' finances. We had spend, save, tithe accounts, and they would do little chores when they were 4 years old and push stools up to the counter and put the dishes away. And I started managing my money with my kids and then in my family. And I realized through even having to file bankruptcy that I felt better about myself and my family and where we were going financially than I did when we had a ton of money and we were just spending money on, doctor's bills and house bills and kids. And we didn't really, have a budget in place. And so thankfully, when I found the Dave Ramsey program, which back then, what did I say? My daughter's 24, my son's 17, and a 14-year-old. So I did this when they were babies, and my son was 2. So it's been going on for like 15 years, but we would do envelopes, right? And now it's different where you can actually set up little mini savings accounts, but we would give every category of spending a name, right? So it was like, here's all the things that we have to pay for, right? Our house payment, our car payment, all the things that were like non-negotiables. And we would write those all out first. And then everything that was kind of goals or maybe vacations we wanted to take, or we would even budget in Christmas because, guys, I can remember like coming to her and I hated Christmas. I hated it, right? But I couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't that I didn't love the lights and love the family gatherings. It just, to me, was more of a fear. And I was always broke and I was putting stuff on credit cards. And I figured out that if I could figure out how much I would spend on Christmas, say it was $3,500, right? I would divide it by 12. And then every month I would take that $300 payment and I would put it in a savings account allocated. Well, it was an envelope back then, but now it's savings accounts allocated for Christmas fund. And I would fund that every single month. So when Christmas came, I was not only excited to do Christmas, but I was proud. I had the money and I didn't put anything on credit cards. And we would, as a family, we would sit down and have goals like, what vacations do we want to take and how much are they going to cost? Divide it by 12, allocate those funds into those specific savings accounts. And then when the vacation comes, you're proud of yourself, you're excited to go on vacation, and you don't come home to debt. So for me, being able to be in control of your finances, whether it's in your career or in your life, is so, so, so important. I know right now, well, anywhere, the number one reason for divorce is money. So I fear that there's going to be a lot of divorces coming out of this. And that's sad for families, guys. Like Erin has been divorced. I've been divorced. I'm not sure, what you guys' situation is, but we know that, wreckage, it comes. And our kids are in counseling. They, it's not a good environment. We don't want divorces to come out of this. So I think if you can come together in your marriages, with your partners, with your family, and really sit down and put a budget in place, whether you guys have $5,000 coming in or you only have $5 coming in. You literally need to sit down and get in control of your finances, come together and set goals as a family and decide what is most important for me to pay for right now. Is it most important for us to have, new shoes? Is it most important for us to have food, right? And decide as a family so that there's no going against each other and getting mad and saying, well, you know, my husband went out and bought new tires for the car. We really didn't need them, but I think we needed this. And then you went out and bought a purse because, you know, you felt really bad and you wanted to, you know, you don't have a job anymore. So a purse is going to make you feel better. But you guys can't do that within your relationships. You really need to come together and set those financial goals and allocate the funds where they're supposed to go. And right now, I did some research. I am a Dave Ramsey's fan, like Tammy said. And he says that do not pay for anything and do not feel ashamed. Because when you guys feel ashamed that you can't pay your utility bill right now, you have to call and push those credit cards out, it turns to avoidance. And when you guys avoid things, they stack up. And that's when the stress comes into play in your lives and your relationships. We don't want that. So right now he says, you know, thankfully we're all in this together. Do not be ashamed. Call those companies. Do not pay off debt right now. That is not a priority. That can come towards, I can't believe I've even seen this. I'm sorry to work for a credit card company, but Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey said so.
Yeah. And two, I have resources here in Phoenix, you guys. I have had a financial coach in my life for 7 years. I still currently work with her. Her name's Kelsa Dickey. She's written a book. It's on Amazon. She is amazing. Like if you guys need counseling, sometimes like a counselor can't help you with your, you know, income, but a financial coach will. She'll get on the phone with you, your partner, whoever you're setting financial goals with, and she'll help you write out, you know, what money are non-negotiables, what are you guys saving for, and help really prioritize what's most important right now. She's been amazing and such a blessing in my life. But with that being said, I don't want to take up too much time, but don't be ashamed, you know, and the most important thing right now is food. Dave Ramsey says the number one thing, you guys, if you have I know some of you, it's $500 this month and that's all you have. And so the number one thing is push other things out, you know, be honest and buy your food, transportation, and then shelter. Those are the top 3 things right now that Dave Ramsey says you need to focus on, even if you only have $500. So another thing I know is that I always hate walking away from things without actionables. I feel like people say set goals and this and that, and I walk away and I leave meetings and events and I go, cool, I don't even know how to do that. Like I know I should, but like I don't know how. So what I do with my budget and what Kelsa taught me for years was I do a Google Drive spreadsheet. If you guys know anything about Google Drive, it's really cool. You can get in there, create spreadsheets and list everything out and your monthly budget can go right there. Or Dave Ramsey has a free app right now and it's called Every Dollar. And you guys can download the Every Dollar app in there and, you know, list out all of your expenses and start prioritizing and tracking things. And once you guys do that, you'll really be surprised because you'll actually be able to set financial goals because sometimes $500 isn't enough. And so you actually want to make more. And so when you say, okay, I want to make $2,000 this week. And then you say, how am I going to get there? Right. And so you literally can start writing down different ways that you can generate revenue to actually get to that goal. And Carlos brought up a couple really good topics this morning about ways that we can actually not just talk about the problem, but we can help you guys solve the problem. So if your financial goals are to make, you know, triple what you are bringing in, we have some really great resources and tips and tricks to help you guys find different opportunities outside of working, you know, in your businesses that are probably most likely closed right now, but to actually do some online stuff from home.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Teresa. That was some great nuggets of information. You know, so let's make a list real quick, those actionables you were talking about. You know, you've mentioned don't avoid. So, you know, today is the day to pick up the phone and communicate. And you just let them know, like, the coronavirus has affected my employment. I cannot work right now. I'm calling you to communicate on what we can do together to, you know, look at what I owe. And that's going to be your landlord to your building. It could be your mortgage company for your house. It can be your car payments, which might be your bank. It can be, you know, anything that you owe money to, communicate. Credit cards. A lot of people are deferring payments. They're not charging finance charges right now. They're giving some grace and mercy right now for everybody because they're in the same boat as us. And the last thing they want to do is start kicking people out of their homes and turning electricity and water off. It's just going to make their business look bad if they do that. But you have to communicate, and really communicating inside your home and your children. I mean, take this opportunity to teach your children the lesson in budgeting money. What a great time right now to share that knowledge. And don't do it from a place of fear. Do it from a place of together, we're going to get through this. I'm going to show you how to budget money, and this is why we're going to start spending differently. It's going to be something we're going to hold each other accountable to, and make a game out of it if the kids are younger. Like, try and make it fun, because so that energy level stays positive. So thank you for that, Teresa. I love that. And then let's go to Carlos, because Carlos has some great ways for us to supplement income, just to get your wheels spinning on how can you create money right now. So Carlos, if you can just share that with us, that would be great.
Yeah, listening to everybody, you guys have some great things to say, and I can relate so much to every topic that was, just talked about. One thing I want to say, first of all, is one thing that's really important, the way the universe works, is that, you really got to focus on abundance rather than focus on scarcity. Because when you focus on scarcity, that is like, the poor me, the victim, and the universe is going to reward you in that way. So really start trying to think greater than what you feel. And really that, and I mean that, because I try to do that on a daily basis myself. And sometimes it's difficult, especially in these day and times that we're going through. But when you start focusing on abundance, start focusing on solutions, you'll get that clarity. And I know it's difficult now, but the most important thing is you have to give it a try, and you have to really get out of yourself to really be able to see through that. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about opportunities, right? So I'm the type of guy that I'm constantly researching, and anytime there's a situation that I'm faced with, I try to come up with a solution, right? And at this time right now, obviously the job market, nobody's hiring, so it's going to be very difficult. Everybody's self-isolating. So what are the opportunities that are out there right now is online marketing, right? Online digital marketing. So one thing that I did was I started a Shopify. And I'll share this with you, something that just popped into me, and I wanted to, do some affiliate marketing, and I'll tell you what all that entitles. But the one thing is, like, I said to myself, like, okay, so what can I do? I'm home, and the field that I'm in, it's here in New York City right now, it's like 100% of all non-essential businesses are closed. So there's really nothing for me to do right now. I mean, I could reach out, and I'm still emailing doctors and doing what I do, but the response is not at that level. And rather than me focusing on that, I'll say, okay, so let me focus on something that I have control of. So the online marketing is really an avenue that you should explore. There's some great YouTube videos on how to start an online marketing. And if you feel like you're not capable of doing it, you'd be shocked how easy and simple it is, because there's really step-by-steps on how to do this. And really all you need is a landing page where you can go to Wix and really create one yourself, and it's free. You can buy a .com, which can literally cost you less than $10. So this is all low budget stuff that you can do. And then starting, an affiliate program with like Amazon or, other affiliates that are out there, and they're all have businesses that are generating cash flow. And right now there's a certain market that people are actually spending on. Another thing, and Tammy, you brought this up earlier, and I totally agree. If you do this, do it, and don't just go on there, because there's a lot of affiliates marketing like ClickBanks, and you're going to start seeing all these products, and you're going to open up a big giant store. Do something that you're passionate about. Think about something that you feel people are in need of right now, and really work around that. And maybe just get like 3 or 4 products that you can even do it on your Facebook page. You have to open up a Facebook business page, but you can open up a Facebook shop. So there's so many creative ways right now to generate income, is what I'm getting at. And you'll be shocked when I say this, that when you see the simplicity of how to do this, it just takes a little bit of effort, just going on YouTube and seeing how to start a online affiliate marketing. And some of these companies that you'll be representing, they pay commissions as high as 30%, sometimes 40%. Some of them pay 10-15%. But you don't really want to get into a high ticket item right now. You want to get into that area where people can spend on those essentials. But I just want to put that out there, because I think there's if you do your research and really come up with some ideas of how you can generate some cash flow that way, that opportunity does exist for you out there.
Yeah, I love that. Carlos, can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on what it means to be an affiliate? Because I know it's something we're all.
Yeah, absolutely. So affiliate marketing is, you're basically representing a brand or representing a company to help them with their sales. So Amazon, for instance, right? So they have an FBA. And what you do is you could sign up right on their site. If you go to Amazon, that shows FBA, affiliate marketing. You could just go right on there, click on there, and it tells you all the step-by-steps on how to be affiliated with them. And, there's other brands. I mean, there's so many brands out there, Organifi, Brain MD. I mean, there's thousands of products out there that have affiliate programs. Sometimes if you go to their website and you just scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll say affiliate program on their resources. And, basically representing their company and getting a commission on sales. And, the great thing about it with affiliate marketing, all you need to do is have the link of that brand or that company, like Amazon, for instance. And as soon as that person clicks on that link on your site, it takes them to Amazon, and they make that purchase on Amazon, and you get the commission. It's really that easy. So you don't have to stock product. You don't feel like you have to have an inventory. They do all the drop shipping for you. So it's really like almost a no-brainer if you really think about it right now, if you're thinking about something to supplement your income.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Again, what we were talking about earlier, and you mentioned it, Carlos, is to find something that you're really passionate about, or a product that you use all the time that you can speak from your truth, that it really works and why it works. Because the last thing you want to do is start selling stuff just to make money. That's not good energy. People are going to see through it. It needs to be authentic to you. So search for it until you find it. And then once you find it, when you are using it, and you talk to people about it and it's going to help them, that's when that money will start flowing.
I agree. And let me just give a tip there. Right now, if we think about what's going on in the world, right? What are the people spending money on? People are spending money on, health and wellness, really, right? They want to boost their immune system. I hear supplements are like skyrocketing right now. I went to CVS earlier to go buy some zinc. Shelves are wiped out with zinc. So, those are some ideas that you can probably, look into.
Yeah, great. All right, and then let's move on to Jerry. Jerry, let's have you just kind of break down that myth of fiction and fact. Sorry.
Fiction. Yeah. Now I have trouble with my tongue already, Tammy.
Jerry. No, I can't talk right.
No. Well, first of all, I just want to say hello, good morning to everyone. We appreciate you guys chiming in, and we're really in strong belief about we can maximize this moment. And that's what this conversation, I heard a lot in this conversation, is all about opportunity. And this morning, we wanted to make sure that you understand there's ways to survive this coronavirus challenge, okay? We're up for the challenge. In fact, what came to my mind when one of you guys was speaking was one of my foundational truths when it comes to when I'm in trouble and being challenged. And this is Bible, not trying to get anybody saved. It's a good thing, but do your thing, do what you do. But this what God says, there's nothing that you're being challenged with today that you don't have the opportunity or the ability to overcome. And I just want to remind everybody of that, first of all, because I have used that in so many tight situations, that truth to understand there's nothing ever you're going to be challenged with that you don't have the ability to overcome right now. So I don't want to be the guy that's always, we talked this morning, I'm not the feeling guy. Let me remind everybody, I would love to be more like Tammy and some others on the call, Aaron, maybe Teresa. I'm not the feeling guy. I'm a teacher at heart. I'm not the one to come and put my arms around you. When you're in trouble, I'm going to tell you, listen, if you will do this, this, and this, your shit will get straight. Okay, that's what I can tell you. I'm more compassionate today than I was yesterday, but and we need a lot of compassion right now. But I just want to be clear about that. And one other quick thing, Tammy, I was also reminded of one of my first mentors in hair, Kenneth Knight, who I love dearly, because he introduced me to a world of hair that I would have never known. Kenneth always told us, quit spending other people's money. I want to say that to all of us out here thinking people don't have money. He says people spend their money on whatever they want. And I was just reminded of that this morning. In this time of need, you can be sure people that like to drink, they're buying alcohol right now.
Right.
people who like Twinkies, Carlos, they buying Twinkies, right? People are spending money. They're spending it on whatever they want. The question is, do you have anything they want? As Carlos was just talking about, you got to chime into what they want. They're spending money on nutrition. Everybody is still spending money. I know I am. I'm still spending. I'm being more selective and getting what I want. But as Tammy said, one of the things I wanted to mention to everybody is you're not alone. That's the good news. We got to separate the fact from the fiction. A lot of us are thinking because we're isolated that we're alone. We're not alone. Matter of fact, I've never seen more people in the same pot in my life. I had a guy call me, he needs money right now for his business. And I thought, you needed money 2 months ago. And the truth of the matter is you're in a better position today to get money than you were 2 months ago, because the government has to chime in on this. So let's separate the fact from the fiction. They can't leave. They can't let everybody get kicked out of their house. As Teresa was saying, what do you really need to think about? You don't really need to think about getting kicked out of your house right now. You need to think about what are the essentials. Food obviously is essential. Water is essential. What are the things that I really need? Because some of the stuff we're stressing over, we don't need to be stressing over. There's many of people doing everything they can right now to make sure you don't go down, because if you go down, so does your neighbor and everybody else, and the country can't afford it. So we're in better shape in my mind. Those that are in need of certain things, most of us needed that same thing 2 months ago, and you're more likely to get it today than you were 2 months ago. So one of the things is just, we got to remove this fear, because the fear is keeping us from separating the facts from the fiction. And we're getting all caught up and we're just getting blinded from the fear. And so I want to suggest to everyone, keep in mind that you have to learn to relax on command. And I gave you guys a technique the other day, simple as getting a relaxation tape, listening to it, start today, listening to it every day. And at the end of the relaxation tape, just say to yourself, relax, relax, and learn to just learn that muscle memory so that you can relax when you catch yourself becoming tense, because your creative mechanism shuts down. Another thing I want to mention as far as this relaxation thing, some of us think that to be careful, to think things through, to plan, we got to do it in fear or with anxiety or overwhelm. Those things don't go together. It doesn't go better with fear. Carefulness doesn't go better with fear. It goes worse. So they don't go together. We're just putting them together. We're letting everything happen so fast in our minds. Separate them. What does Aaron say? Stop, drop, and breathe. This stuff, we can control this. There's nothing, and again, I don't want to be too harsh, but I'm just going to say there's nothing that we're being challenged with right now that we can't overcome. This is doable. We can get this thing done. We're going to get it done. I don't have any choice but to get it done. Matter of fact, the fact that this group you see right now is a result of us getting it done together. There's never been so much togetherness. If this hadn't happened, none of us, I haven't talked to Carlos much in the last, 10 years?
Yeah, right.
We talked twice in 10 years, We're together today because of this. We're together today. So there's a lot of opportunity right now that I want to just remind everybody. So when it comes to dealing with the situation, Mary Morrissey, and I'll give her credit for this because she's the one that taught me this. She says, you can hold your dream with an open hand. And you have to learn to hold it with an open hand. Because when you clench on the thing, some of us are like this right now. Oh my God, oh my God. This is fear. That's when you know you're in fear. When you're uptight, when you're clenched up like this is not faith. This is like, oh God, please make it happen, please. That's not, God ain't listening to that kind of prayer. That's fear. You gotta hold it with an open hand. That shows, I believe I got this, and it doesn't take a closed hand to hold the ball in your hand. You can hold it with a closed hand or an open hand. Hold it. Make sure you're holding on to everything right now. Everything you're doing with an open hand. As you plan, even going through the coronavirus, hey, believe me, I'm washing my door handles. When I come out of the grocery store, I'm wiping down everything. I'm wiping down the bags of the hand. I said, she just handed me that bag. I don't know what she got, but I ain't doing none of this in stress. I'm just being careful and being calm about it. And so make sure that we separate the fact from the fiction. What do you really need to be focused on right now? Focus on those things. You've heard a lot of good information this morning about things you should consider focusing on. And don't just get caught up and get in a frenzy about the situation. It's not necessary, because we can't do this. And again, I'll try to be nicer tomorrow morning, but this morning I just wanted to be clear. I'm really not the comforting type. We got some of those on here for you guys, and we need them. God knows we need them, because I need it sometimes. But my heart is a teacher, and I try to make no apologies for it anymore. That's who I am. That's who God made me to be. I'm saying you do 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to be okay in this thing. You're going to make it in this thing.
I love it.
Thank you, Tammy, and I'll get off my soapbox now.
Oh, Jerry,
Hallelujah.
time. We're all back here going, amen, Brother Jerry.
Yeah, I'll stop preaching now.
Because listen, this is the reality, you guys. We have got to stick together and use our strengths. And Jerry, your strength is getting people's shit together. I mean, that is just what it is, and sometimes we just have to lift people up and say, look, enough is enough. You got to start taking action and stop being reactive. There's a huge difference. When you take action, it is on purpose. When you take reaction, you're just responding. Like, you don't even know what's going on. And that is not what needs to be happening right now. The reality is the 5 people on this call are giving to our community because they need it. And that is our strength. And so we're doing it for free. Yes, we're still making money. We are still offering our courses. We're not offering them at full price. We are giving people discounts, but we are still making a living doing what we do, having that empathy for people, meeting them where they're at, and we're lifting you guys up. And that's what we do. As hairdressers, we do it every day behind the chair. The difference right now is you are not physically standing behind the chair. You can still be lifting your clients up. You can still be offering them advice. If you're not going to be there for yourself, be there for someone else right now, because that's what needs to happen. And, this whole conversation about money, it truly matters. We are giving you tools to get to the other side of this. But if you just sit here and listen, and then you hang up and start scrolling on social media again, it was a waste of time. We've given you a list of things to do. You have to take action and do it. You're not going to be any worse off than you are right now. You got to try these things, you guys. They work. We all constantly do it. We are all meditating. We are all connecting to people that are smart with our finances. We have all talked to our financial advisors. We are all making budgets. We are all connecting with community. How can we lift each other up? I'm going to look up that app today, Dave Ramsey app. Like, I'm taking notes too, because I need help with this too, right? There are things that we can do right now to help us. For the hairdressers out there, anyone that's self-employed, my advice to you is to look up your resources. So look up your Department of Commerce of your state. It's going to be different for every state. Find out what it means to be self-employed or an independent contractor, because every state's going to have a different regulation. You are going to need proof of documentation at the end of the day. So just remember, if you don't have it now, you've got to get this together for the future. So don't feel like, you've lost hope because you don't have this documentation. But a lot of the things that you're going to need is like proof of documentation that you're a business. If you're leasing behind your chair, you're going to need that lease agreement between you and the owner, or you and the landlord of the business that you're in. You're going to have to maybe show your schedule that you are working. You might have to show your retail sales license. It might be your tax return statements. Whatever it is, you're going to have to pick up your computer or your phone and Google your Department of Commerce in your city and find out what are the rules of engagement with this whole situation. A lot of them right now are, I mean, right there on their landing page is, what do I do if I'm self-employed because of the coronavirus? And you just click on that and all these frequently asked questions come up. But do your research and take action and just check off the list of what you need and turn in the documentation. Ask for help. You know, and get with other business owners or people that are in the same boat as you, because I guarantee you they're all researching what to do right now, and everybody's coming up with really great ideas on how to start getting their income supplemented. So, you know, I hope today was an investment in your future. I hope that we're helping you. I just want to go around real quickly and everybody share, what are you offering complimentary to our community right now that they can take advantage of, and how can they get a hold of you if they want to stay connected to you? So let's start with you, Jerry. Share with us what's going on with you right now.
Yes, most of what I'm doing on my page, but I'm also doing join the group, maximize the moment, and there is a I'm calling it a corona-free mastermind. I'm doing every Monday at 10 Phoenix time. It's free of charge. We got started this Monday, so you can get the link from last Monday on the site. Also, I have one of my coaching friends of mine who's been a business coach for forever. He's incredible. Used to be a CEO, a CFO, and I work with him. He is offering a free webinar. You can get the information on maximize the moment, 8 strategies to survive the coronavirus. And I'm familiar with the strategies because I present the strategies to people, incredible strategies. And he's going to show you how to execute the strategies in this webinar so that you can be strong today and strong afterwards. Also, there's some, I put a link on there of how to go apply for a loan. And now that the Federal Reserve has just opened up billions of dollars for business owners, I'm going to get a link and put on there for my son who just applied for a loan, because we want to make sure our staff does well through all of this. I'll get you that link up there before the day is out. So stay tuned on there. But one thing I want to mention, Tammy, one of the paying courses I have that just dawned on me this morning that will be life-changing for people right now is the breakthrough coaching. I'll put some information up there about the breakthrough coaching, but it will eliminate all of your negative emotions, all of your limiting beliefs, and your internal conflicts, so you can be free to think creatively.
I love it.
That's what I have today.
That's awesome. And they can find all of this on Maximize the Moment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right, and let's go back to Carlos. What do you got going on for us?
So, you know, my thing is I've been posting a lot lately, and, you know, I've been kind of a hermit on social media by design, but I've been posting a lot of just great information, giving people tips on their diet, their nutrition. I'm going to start posting some stuff on workouts. I'm also creating something that I don't want to share right now because then I'll give out the secret, but I'm creating a webinar myself that's going to be really exciting. And it's all about, you know, getting people mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically fit.
I love it. Thank you. And how can they find you?
Now you can find me at Carlos carlosmetamorphosislive@gmail.com, or you can also go to my Carlos Cintron Facebook page.
Okay, awesome.
My
Great.
website's not up yet.
Okay, and then let's go back to Teresa. How about you?
Hi, yeah, so I actually have a Calendly link. So if anybody wants to call me on Mondays and Wednesday afternoons, I've scheduled out a couple hours to take some calls from you guys directly. Like I said, hate walking away from things without having resources. So I am offering my time free to you guys if you want to go over maybe how to start a budget, how to write things down. I own a technology company. I also am creating a course called Beauty Course Creations, teaching beauty pros how to take their career beyond their chair by creating an online course sharing their expertise, talents, and gifts with the world. And it's funny because the timing of it, I'm right now launching it off of my course website called teresaelyoung.com. You can join the waitlist, find out more information. I am in the process of getting it created and launching here in the next few weeks. So the timing has just kind of been in alignment with that. I'll share my Calendly link. You guys can also find me in my Facebook group. We have over 500 beauty pros right now in there, and they're all joining together, sharing tips on what's working for them as well. It's called Hairstylist and Beauty Pro Marketing Society. I've pretty much mastered how to get yourself on social media and get online and create a business while you sleep. That was always my goal. I wanted to make money while I slept and wanted to figure out how to do that. So if you guys have any questions on how to find affiliate links that maybe work with your niche, or, you know, some self-discovery of stuff like that, I can definitely help you with that. And also, I love setting up landing pages. So if you have questions on setting up landing pages, how to build your email list through this process, give me a call. I would love to chat.
All right. Thank you, Teresa. That's awesome. And how about you, Erin?
Yeah, I'm like Teresa. I am more than happy to have to give away some of my time for free conversations about meditation, you know, anything soul, spiritual, actually really anything. But I actually am going to develop a boot camp. I talked to Teresa about this. I'm going to try and do next week like a 3-day boot camp. It'll be very minimal price. I think I'm going to name it Soul Centered Breakthrough Boot Camp. So be looking for a link to that as well in the Maximize the Moment group. And I'm here to chat. You know, message me on Facebook. Best way to get a hold of me, and then we can go from there.
Awesome. Awesome. And then I've got a lot of opportunities right now. The first of all is to stay connected. I think it's the most important thing. So what I've started was episodes of Fear into Hope. I've already interviewed like 5 or 6 stylists. Those are up on my page. But this week I'm going to be focusing on mind, body, and soul. And I'm going to spend 1 hour one-on-one with Teresa today at 11 a.m. Phoenix time. We're going to be coming back on talking about the mind. And then Carlos and I are going to be talking about the body on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Phoenix time. And then Erin and I are going to be talking about the soul on Friday at 8 a.m. Phoenix time. So all of those are complimentary talks. If you guys want to dive deeper into the mind, body, and soul, we're definitely going to do that together, free for you. The other thing that Jerry and I are doing together is a leadership mastermind that's going to be hosted on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It'll be in a private Zoom room. And you can go to unbranded.education.com to sign up for that. We are giving a discount. So enter Beauty Strong in the promo code, and you're going to get a $75 discount on that. And we're going to give you 2 free coaching sessions included in that mastermind. It's going to be 3 weeks of teaching you how to be a more powerful leader inside of any organization. It doesn't just have to be a salon. It can be any business. So we would love to have you guys join us for that. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm going to be offering my Quiet the Defeating Voices again this week. I'm shooting for Friday. I don't have the time yet, but I will post it. That's totally complimentary. And that is, anybody can take it. The end part of it is just for hairdressers, but the beginning part is very powerful. It's just little bullet points from my Living with Intention class that I teach. And I'm giving this absolutely free. So 90 minutes on Friday. I'll be posting the time here shortly. So please join me for that. And then anything that I have on my website, you guys are welcome to go there. I'm giving that Beauty Strong promo code for any of my virtual courses. You get $75 off any of them. So let's stay connected. Let's start helping each other. You know, if you guys have a strength out there and you're not using it, now is the time to use it. Pick up the phone, email, make some videos, share what you know, and, you know, keep moving forward, you guys. That's the most important part. Just keep moving forward and stay connected. So I appreciate everyone's time. We're going to be here as a source for you. Please use us. That's what we're here for. Anybody want to say last minute words?
Well, when are we on next and at what time? I know we were discussing times.
Yeah, so the 3 of us are on again on Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. Phoenix time. So we will be back here this Thursday, this Friday on Maximize the Moment Phoenix time.
Okay.
And we can post it. We'll post what our topics are going to be, and we'll post the times and all that good stuff.
Excellent.
Any last words from the coaches?
I have one more. I know you guys always talk about writing down every single morning what you're grateful for, but there's also something called money mantras, and you guys can write those down, and they're very empowering. And there's nothing to be ashamed of with money mantras. I mean, there's things like, I'm open and ready to receive money now. Money is attracted to me and needs me to spend it now. Everyone helps me prosper financially now. I welcome large sums of money into my life regularly. But those are the types of things. Look them up. I have a coaching program that I did a few months back, and everybody had to create a money mantra, and it's really powerful. So maybe get up in the morning, write what you're grateful for, and then write your money mantra every single day. Put it on your screensaver, put it on your phone, get that mindset going.
Amen.
I love it. Money mantras. I've never done those before.
You have to see.
I'm getting ready, girl. Now
Yeah.
let's do it.
In there and do it. I mean, money flows easily and freely to me, abundantly. Like,
Love it.
change that mindset.
Yep. Hey, I want to share one thing that a neighbor did. I just thought it was amazing. You know, as we know, the grocery stores are getting low. People aren't even wanting to go in the grocery stores. Well, my neighbor has a grapefruit tree and went and picked a bunch of grapefruits and then texted everybody in the neighborhood and said, hey, I have a bunch of free grapefruits at the end of my driveway. Come by and get them. We're going to keep our social distancing and keep helping each other. So I've been driving through like Phoenix. I've been taking my daughter out just driving, practicing just so we can get out of the house. And I'm passing by all these people's houses with lemon trees and orange trees and grapefruit trees. And I'm just like, that is such a great idea to share with your community. I mean, a simple thing like that. So think of fun things like that to keep your community connected. Another one is friends are doing happy hours on their driveway and they're just sitting out on their driveway and they're just yelling at each other across the street. So they're keeping the social distancing, but they're getting outside of their houses and connecting. So, you know, any fun ideas like that, share it with us, because the more, you know, even if it's in your balcony in New York, everybody get out on your balcony and have a drink together. You know, we can still communicate, we can still connect. We just have to do it 6 feet apart. So that's
The 50s all over again, huh?
All right. All right. Everyone have a great day. I hope this was valuable for everyone. And
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.